Guys, how's everyone doing? Today we will be using this same giant deck, but yesterday I replaced the arrows with the zap because Fireball Zap is a pretty nice combo compared to Fireball Arrow. Arrow isn't really necessary for this deck because mainly you just want to Fireball like medium elixir troops such as the Wizard or the Musketeer. Fireball Zap fully takes them out without the extra 1 elixir from the arrow. And immediately we hop in against Beyonce, and then I'm going to use the E-Drag to tank a bit, and then go to place Mini P.E.K.K.A on top of the Wizard to take that down. Fortunately, my E-Drag survives, but it's not gonna do too much because it's pretty low on health. I'm not going to support it actually because he has Musketeer and it may get ahead of the Giant, so that's why I didn't place the Giant down. I don't think I even had elixir for that, so yeah. Alright, so I'm going to zap like this. Oh, my zap actually does or fully takes down the goblins. If the zap is the same level as the goblins, it won't take them down, so that's one thing to note. Fortunately though, it was, and right now we have a musketeer alive to get some shots on their tower. He kind of misses. He doesn't really defend that well, and we get a fireball off the wizard. I'm not sure if our tower can one-shot the wizard. Okay, it doesn't, so that's gonna get one shot, unfortunately. I'm going to do this now. Okay, we didn't catch the musketeer onto the giant, and he arrows that. Alright, that's fair play for him. He might goblins, and that's why I minioned behind, because I knew he had goblins, and that's like a free tower for us. Alright. And once again, we're going to just, what was that fireball, by the way? We're just going to reload with the giant push. We have Evo E-Dragon hand, so we're not going to use that right now. We only use it for emergencies like the barbarians that he used earlier on. And he might do it right now. All right, you're going to see how this dragon pops off. This is why it's one of my favorite troops to use. Alright, giant and everything in the pocket now because we have like a ton of pressure and he can't really do too much to us, and we simply just get the tower down. Alright, easy first match, and let's hop into our next one. So I'm assuming this guy also has the Evo drag because he has the banner, and I'm not going to use, okay, what was that? I said I wasn't going to use the E-Drag for now because I want to know what deck he has first. And he used E-Drag and Mini P.E.K.K.A, which are okay cards for the E-Drag to deal with. Just going to let the Muskie snipe some of the Spear Goblins, and I'm going to go Mini P.E.K.K.A. Hover your zap if you think there's like any swarm cards. I probably could have zapped there, but like I'm not going to waste too much elixir, or I don't want to, because he might play a spell or something onto them, so it's fine. Alright, I used E-Drag just to cycle to my Evo because he already has his Evo, and I'm going to Fireball like this so that it pushes it forward. I'm not sure if you saw it, but that's what you want to do, so that our E-Drag chains onto his tower as well as his dragon. Alright, going to set up a giant push now. This might be bad for us because his bomber might take our bomber out, and that's exactly what happens because we placed it way too close to each other. Alright, now I'm going to Mini P.E.K.K.A because the minions are still alive, and even if he places skeletons or something, it's going to be pretty hard to deal with it. As you can see right here, I have my Evo E-Drag now. I'm not going to place it down just yet, because I don't really need to. Okay, I'm going to do it right now just to defend the Mini P.E.K.K.A. It might get a shot off. Actually, I'm just going to zap like that so it doesn't chop down my tower too much. Alright, now I'm going to okay, never mind. Okay, I'm gonna do it actually because I think my E-Drag should take that down. Okay, it doesn't, but it doesn't matter. Alright, giant minion in the pocket really does the work. because his tower's definitely gonna go down now. And then I'm going to Musketeer. Okay, that was not the best Musketeer, but their mini P.E.K.K.A locks on to ours, so our Muskie survives. Doesn't matter though, because the game is already finished and he really can't do much. I'm just going to kite it somewhat so that the the giant and our E-Drag merges together in the same lane. All right, another really easy win, I would say, just because he didn't play his E-Drags perfectly, because most people just place down their E-Drags in the bridge, and that's not what you do. E-Drags are basically defensive units where you only use it for defense and not offense. All right, so I'm going to place down the bomber since it's the cheapest card and you won't really get punished for it. And now I'm going to place down the E-Drag because he placed down the knight, so I'm assuming he's going to push even more towards us. I'm going to fireball like this. Hopefully it chains on. Yes, it does. All right, that means I could get a giant down and it's going to tank for the E-Drag perfectly. All right, this is going to be really nice because our E-Drag's gonna take everything down. Hopefully, okay, oops, I did not mean to zap my king tower. My finger just slipped. I was about to zap the archer tower for like so that my E-Drag gets additional hits, but unfortunately I messed up. But it's fine because we're up damage. All right, now I am going to repeat the same thing. So yeah, in this arena, like things are supposed to be repeated. It's pretty repetitive because people just like think one way and only build up like one push at a time. Sometimes if you're like decent at the game, you're able to do double lane pushes, but it really depends on what deck they have and what deck you also have. So yeah, going to zap the archers so that my minion cleans them out. All right, a few swings on the tower. All right, I'm going to Musketeer now. I don't really want a Bomber because Bomber doesn't really do too well against the Giant. Only reason I used Muskie was to like DPS down the Giant. All right, he missed my E-Drag, so that's really nice. All right, I'm going to do this now and then Fireball like this and then Zap as well. I think I could have hit the tower, but I just wanted to play it safe. Okay, he's cycling to another wizard, which is going to be somewhat annoying, but I think our E-Drag's gonna chain. Oh my god, the chain is just too good. All right, notice how I distance my Musketeer and E-Drag apart. The reason why it's is to survive the fireball and not get hit by not have it hit both of my troops. All right, now I'm just going to keep fireballing the wizard because just to take it down. And yeah, this is another easy win, and let's hop into our next one. Okay, why do I have a Discord pop-up? I'm not sure what happened there. Okay, I'm just going to Bomber once again. All right, he's playing Wizard. I'm not sure what level you even unlock Wizard at, but maybe it's in Arena 4. I'm not sure if I even have Wizard because I progressed way too fast. So I didn't get all the cards, but that's fine because you don't really need it. Okay, so our Bomber takes down the hut for which is nice. And then I'm going to E-Drag like this because I have many P.E.K.K.A later to tank for it. So that's why I did that. All right, I'm gonna go mini P.E.K.K.A now, and he placed a weird. Okay, I'm going to fireball like this. Okay, I think the mini P.E.K.K.A could have took the wizard down, but I just wanted to get it down as fast as possible. All right, he fireballed the E-Drag with like less than half HP, so that's kind of good for us. And now I'm going to set a Musketeer behind the king tower and then let it walk a bit and basically react to what he plays now. If he doesn't play anything, just giant, there's never an issue doing so. And now I'm going to use the E-Drag now. Okay. And then I might use Mini P.E.K.K.A just to increase the amount of DPS we have. And basically this tower goes down. Alright, so it's going to Valk. Like 2 cards is better than 1, especially when you're like counter pushing. So make sure to build up a solid combo. Okay, now I'm going to E-Drag. So Giant Muskie and E-Drag are a very solid combo if you put it together. E-Drag just chains on everything and just basically helps the entire push. Alright, and then Bomber just splashes on into everything. Muskie does DPS, so that's really nice. Okay, this is another pretty easy triple on the board, and he gives a thumbs up. Alright, so against Toady here, we have double spells. Okay, he goes Battle Ram in the bridge, which isn't a bad play at all. Fortunately, we had Mini P.E.K.K.A in hand though, to stop his push from being too threatening. Alright, we should drop a few cards now because he kind of cycled pretty fast and he's probably 1 card away from Battle Ram. So that's what so we should be aware of that. Alright, he fireballs that. I'm going to minions. I placed the minions in just the right time to avoid the fireball, but kind of got lucky there, to be honest. Alright, I zap there so that our tower doesn't take too, can just one-shot them. Hopefully E-Drag connects, it does, nice. And then I'm going to Bomber here so we don't take too much damage from the Battle Ram. And then he's gonna have to defend once again. Okay, he uses the bats. E-Drag's just gonna chain it down. And we can build another push. So I'm just gonna use Giant in the back now. The reason I use Giant first is so that I could cycle to another Giant. And he has his own E-Drag, unfortunately. It's gonna be kind of painful to play against. Alright, I'm going to Fireball that and then support my Giant with my minions. It's basically a pretty cheap push. And I'm going to Mini P.E.K.K.A this side because I want to back up the Musketeer for like a counter push. Alright, hopefully it gets 1 hit. It doesn't, unfortunately. Alright, I'm going to defend cheaply because he might have Battle Ram or something once again. Okay, I'm gonna do this now. Hopefully it doesn't do too much damage. Alright, our E-Drag clutches up. Really nice. Fireballs the Musketeer. And we still have our Mini P.E.K.K.A alive to destroy the Knight. And our E-Drag is basically going to clutch up. And this is going to be a nice nice tower takedown. I think this guy's a little more experienced than the other players because he knows how to like spam the bridge with this kind of archetype. Yeah, he was just being annoying, but nonetheless, it was pretty easy, I would say. Alright, so we're up against this guy, and we have 1 spell and three cards. 3 cards. Alright, so he's going to place Giant Skeleton. This is our first time facing it actually. So I'm going to use my Giant to tank for it. Alright, he's got like level 8. He's got a level 8 card. So that's definitely going to cause some trouble, I would say. I'm going to help out. Alright, this is really bad for us because he has Prince as well. Prince is going to be pretty annoying against this deck, to be honest. But we have E-Drag, so it's gonna help out a little. And he one-shots my minions. This is way too... This is gonna suck quite a bit because for one, he has the Prince, which is kind of OP in this range. I'm not sure where he even got it. And then Baby Dragon, I think it just has quite a bit of health, but let's see if we could still win him. We just have to play it a little bit better. Okay, I'm going to evil E-drag this. Probably should... Never mind. I thought I should have zapped, but it's fine. Going to do this to hopefully push the muskie down. Okay, never mind, it doesn't pushes, but like our muskie should get some damage on his tower. Alright, he's laughing at us, and I am not too happy about this situation because he could easily take our tower down. I forgot what spell he has, so like this will be very bad if he fireballs our muskie and our bomber. Alright, I'm going to E-drag this now. Okay, fireball zap this. Okay, decent. I'm going to do minions like this now. And hopefully it takes everything down. Okay, that bomber was not great. Like, I feel like he should start using Prince a little more often because it's just very good. Well, not right now though, because like we have the E-drag, so yeah, we do defend that pretty nicely. Just gonna let that go. Actually, I'm gonna zap. But for the next push, I'm going to have to start like being more aggressive now because I have the E-drag down. Okay, I'm gonna wait a little more, unfortunately, because of his giant skeleton. If you don't know this card, it basically drops a big bomb and kills everything when it dies. And now I am going to use it now because we are kind of running out of time and I need to win this. Okay, do this. I'm going to hover a zap because he has skeleton army. Okay, he doesn't do that. And we should be able to win this, hopefully. I'm going to zap this. Okay, nice. And I think we should be able to win, actually. Okay, fireball like this. Oh, let's go. That was kind of close. He didn't really have any spell to take us down, so like we won pretty easily because we defended all day long and it paid off due to our patience. All right, so if you lose against that matchup, it's totally understandable because I don't think people have giant skeleton unless I'm absolutely wrong about that. Okay, gonna do this. Okay, I'm going to defend the giant first because I don't really want it taking down my tower or hitting my tower. Bomber saves my mini P.E.K.K.A by tanking for my own P.E.K.K.A, and my muskie's gonna DPS down the knight, which is pretty nice, so my tower doesn't have to defend it. Alright, now I'm going to E-drag like this, and I'm already back to my giant. Going to do this, and then giant over here like this. The reason I use my minions like that is because I wanted to make the elixir count as cheap as possible so that I could place the giant down to tank for my E-drag. Alright, so he defended perfectly. Not too bad. He's using Hog Rider, which is an okay card, but like he's like comboing it with a giant, so I'm not sure how that's gonna work out for him. And what's nice about our deck is that we have the Evo E-drag, so that it basically chains everything down, and his hog's gonna be quite useless. Okay, I did not mean to drop the giant. Oh, what am I doing? Actually, what is my finger doing? Okay, I'm gonna do this. And I'm going to wait for a little and then zap because you want to reset the Inferno Tower at the right moment because it ramps up its damage gradually and you don't want to zap it like instantly. So that's another tip that I want to give you. Okay, I'm going to Evo E-drag this. My iPad almost fell, by the way, but it's fine. Okay, hopefully. Okay, tanks. All right, we have our dragon has a sliver of health and we might pull something off. Okay, never mind, but it's fine. I think we got the tower. Our giant's gonna get the tower, hopefully. Okay, we don't really need to fireball because our mini P.E.K.K.A is on tower, and hopefully it takes it down. Okay, never mind. It doesn't, but we are about to really soon. As long as we don't choke this, we're fine. Let's see. I'm going to E-Drag like that just to take it down, and then minions as well to take the hog for 0 damage. And he can't really do too much about it now because our giant's gonna close in on it, and we take the tower. Thank you guys for sticking around and watching my gameplay. So far I won like so many times in a row, and we're doing pretty well. I think I lost to this one because he basically had a faster cycle than us, so yeah, it was unfortunate, but I think this was my only loss throughout the series so far, and I'll keep you guys updated if I do lose any more matches. And yeah, I'll see you guys later and have a great day.